Hi there and welcome to For Ratman Toy. 11th of October today, beautiful sunny day in Western Australia. On today's video I will be doing a few little projects which I've been putting off for the last few weeks, but now I've got a bit of time, few days off work. So first of all, first project I will be doing is I need to make a timber lid with some shade cloth for the summer for one of my spawning ponds, fry ponds, and also I'll be making a frame for one of my spawning nets, just to prevent the spawning net from rising to the surface. I always find whenever I breed every year, I always have the same problem where the spawning net floats to the top with air bubbles, and I've tried numerous ideas to try and keep it to the bottom, but it just keeps on, once the air gets underneath the fry net, it tends to raise to the top. So if anybody out there has got any ideas, please feel free. So this is one of my fry ponds, which I always get set up for the breeding season. It's roughly about 1,500 litres, and then there's got a sieve filter set up, and also then just a moving bed chamber with some brushes. But I'll explain everything to you shortly. So as you can see here, I'll move in, show you a bit closer. So it's a pretty easy setup, and then also you can see the spawning net inside there, and I need to put some crossbars on these framework what holds the spawning net down, otherwise it just floats to the top. It's a pretty good setup. So the actual depth is about 1 metre, but at present I've got some daphnia in there, which I set up a few months ago. So once I start breeding and spawning, I will then top up the water a bit higher. At present it's quite low. So as you can see there, it's a pretty good flow. So these are the pumps I use. Jabao J-Cod 8500, pretty good pump, and the lift pressure, it's about 1.5 meters, which is pretty good. It does say on the controls maximum height is 5.2 meters. I've never tried it at 5.2, but it always works really good pressure up to about 2 meters. I find no problem whatsoever. And a great little pump. The only downfall is the adjustable control is not waterproof, so I usually always cover them up. But it's great. I mean, this is a 8,500 litre an hour pump, and I run it at about 20%, quite low, which is pretty good. And yeah, I think this one cost me about $200, yeah. And the last one I had lasted me about 3.5, 4 years, but it ended up getting water in the control, and then it stopped working. But if you keep the controls covered for $200 for a 8,500 pump, it's really good, and it holds the pressure as well. So the first filter chamber is just a homemade DIY sieve filter. It then, the clean water drops through the sieve, and then I've probably got about 10 to 15 brushes below the sieve filter. And it works pretty good, and I clean it in the summer. I'll probably clean it once every 2 weeks. I don't have a spray bar mechanism. I was thinking about making one, but I find it tends to build up, and then I just clean it out once every couple of weeks when I'm at home. So it goes from the first chamber, it then goes down to 90 to the bottom chamber, and then the bottom chamber, the water rises up and then returns to the pond. I'll take the lid off and show you what's inside the second chamber. So the second chamber, I've made, it's a DIY job again. I've made it like a nexus. So I've got the moving bed in the center here with K1 and K2, and on the outsides I've just tied some brushes for extra filtration. Like I said, it's only about 1500 litres, so there's plenty of filter for the size of the pond. It then obviously then rises up the water and returns back into the pond. I've got a 60-watt air supply, which at present is just supplying a couple of air lines, just to add a bit of aeration for the Daphnia, one there and one on the outside of the net as well. I have got a bottom drain below, around about there, a rubber bottom drain, 200 ml, but I don't get that going until I remove the spawning net. Once the fry are a few months old, I'll then remove the net and yeah, put the bottom drain on. I can control it with all the controls here. I've got all the adjustable controls here. So I go from 13 ml for the bottom drain in the once the fry are at a decent size. I've got 13 ml, but at present I'm just running this small air stones. But yeah, it works pretty good. It was a DIY pond. I just made it out of some exterior timber, marine ply. I think I used 10 ml or 15 ml marine ply, and then I just fiberglassed it. But yeah, it's been working pretty good. It's been up now for about 3 years. I'll prop some photographs of me making the pond. I didn't video it, but I'll pop some photographs just to give you an idea of how I made it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I think it cost me about $1,000 to make, roughly. And then the leftover timber, I just made some little stands just to pop the filter boxes on. I always find if you always raise the first filter box, the first chamber, it tends to work a lot better with gravity. I have tried it before with say two 200 litre drams, perfectly level, but I just find it you get a better flow when you raise the first chamber. Yeah, future projects I'm going to mess about, and I'm going to rig up a spray bar for this sieve filter, you could call it, just a spray bar. I've seen a couple of clips online, so I've got some good ideas, so I'm just in the process of putting some ideas together. But yeah, it works really well. I've got a 100 ml slide valve to the first filter chamber, so just flush that every couple of weeks. Just pull the arm and that flushes that one. I've got a 50 ml to the second chamber, and then I've also got a 50 ml which I can purge the bottom drain as well. But great for cleaning, and pretty easy to clean, pretty straightforward. I'll get back to you shortly, and I'll give you a bit of a progress update on how I'm doing with the lid. So basically I want to make a lid for the top of there, just to keep the sun off it. So as you can see, that's a little air bubble there to get out the sand, the glare of the sun. You can see the air bubbles there, and what usually happens is after a few days it tends to raise the surface. So what I'm going to do today to try and fix it, it's only a small pond. I'm going to put some crossbars from there to there. I'll probably pop 3, I think. I'll probably pop 3. I'll pop 1 there, 1 there, and then I'll put 1 down there as well, and hopefully that crossbar will prevent the oxygen from getting underneath the spawning net and raising to the top. It is very frustrating. Okay, so I've taken the bottom frame out. That my first job to do, the first framework for the spawning net, which is just over here. So this is the frame here. As you can see, just simple frame with small holes in there, and I've got it filled with some rocks just to weight it down. But I'm going to put some cross members across there to there. I'm going to put 3. I think I've put 3. I've got to be careful because I've got a bottom drain as well, so I don't want to have the frame right over the bottom drain. But I'll put some extra supports across there, and hopefully that will stop that fly net from raising to the surface with the air pockets. I've got everything I need there. So I've got 3 lengths. I'll cut them to size. I've got the T-junctions, 25mm retic T-junctions. So I'll get back to short when I've put them all together and the framework is all intact and ready to go back into the pond. So as you can see there, I've just cut through now. You can see the small rocks inside there. They're just small pond rocks. I just stuff them in there, then drill some holes to help with the weight. So I've just joined it now, cut a section off, and then I'll join it with a T, and then I'll join the opposite side. I've marked them all out now so I know where they're going, and see what happens once I've finished. So that's the first one fitted, and I've drilled some holes in there just to help, so the water helps keep the weight down. Yeah, that's the first one. I've got 1 more in the middle and 1 more at the end. Well, I've fitted all the 3 cross members now. As you can see, they're all nice and secure. I'll pop that back in the pond now. Well, that's the bottom frame made and fitting the bottom there, so that should help with those air bubbles. I've also moved it to the end as well, so I've got a little gap at this end which I can then either put an extension pipe on the end here over the top, or I can have it running outside the spawning net when the fry are really young. So I've got that alternative. I've got a bit of a gap here, but that's fine. I've only used a made to order net from China, fine spawning mesh, so that should do the job. My next task is to do the lid for this pond. With the lid, I'm just going to do a simple job just to keep the sun off it. I'll probably leave a gap at this end due to the pipe overlapping here, so I'll just probably bring it to about there. So there'll be a gap there, but it should be okay. It's only for the fry for a few months. So I'll get back to doing the lid now. Okay, so I'll start with the lid now. Got my timber, got my 2 long lengths and my short length. Just using exterior treated pine, 90 by 20. I'll get back to you shortly when I've put it all together. So I've made the framework. I'm just waiting for it to dry now. Just the 4 corners I've glued, clamped, and used small plates just hold it in place. I then will put another one in the center here. I'm just gluing those for the time being. All I've done is I've just used these clamps here. These are just what you use for the top of the shed cloth, and I've just glued, clamped, yeah, used the plates on there and then hammered some screws through either side. They're the things I've used. You can see in there they've got spikes on them, and they're used for the shade cloth, attaching shade cloth to pine, treated pine. But yeah, so that's the outside frame now. I'll just make one more for the center, and then I'll leave it then overnight to dry and make sure it's all nice and solid. So I managed to get the frame finished. As you can see, it's all finished now. Shade cloths on there. What I decided to do was, for this side here, which I was going to cut it short, I decided to raise it with some blocks. You can see there, raise it with some blocks, so then now it's above the pipework, so I can have it still the full length, which I thought was a bit better than cutting it short, which would look a bit poxy. So now I've got it the full length. I'll just lift it up and show you it, if I can do it with one hand. So that's from this end as well. You can see now I've just got some wedges on there, and then I've put an hinge on the corner there and an hinge on the other side, so I can lift it up then. And I've just got a bit of a support stick here, which I can prop the net up with. But that's pretty happy with that. I'll just lift up and show it, so we can do it with one hand, and I'll show you when it's all fixed together. So yeah, so all I do is just wedge it up there, and that's great, easy access. It's on 2 hinges, and I just covered all the framework with the shade cloth. So I'm pretty happy now with that job. That job's another job ticked off the list. And the bottom seems to be staying pretty good for the time being. There's no air bubbles. Like I said, I've got this running on a timer, so it goes off every couple of hours. But so far since yesterday, it's pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with the way I did this. At least this way now, if I want to, I can extend this over here, or I can just have it running outside the net, depending how big the fry are. But yeah, this is a lot better idea, and plus it keeps it covered up. So that should keep the sun off the fry in summer. Which it's only a small pond, but that lid should do it pretty good. So this is another one of my breeding ponds I've got set up. Like I said before, the problems I'm having with the air bubbles, you can see there. I got this made to measure. It's just made out of terraline curtain. Bought it from the curtain shop and just got someone to sort it up for me. But as you can see, the air bubbles still have problems. It's very frustrating. But this is another one of my tanks I've got set up once I've bred this year and put my fry in there. You can see I've got a 25mm black poly pipe around the outside, and that's filled with stones as well. And then I've just put an extra one in the center as well. Some people say that it all depends where you put your air stone, but I find I've tried putting the air stone at the bottom, the top, on the outside of the spawning net, on the inside, and no matter what I try, just get these little air bubbles. If anybody's got any ideas, any recommendations, please put a comment in relation to the position of the air stones and how to prevent all these bubbles. Very, very annoying. But this is another one of my breeding ponds, 2,500 litres. It's got a filter already set up. I've been running this on a timer, so every couple of hours it goes on just to start getting it a little bit matured. And I've also got this filled with Daphne as well.